I am Venom Walker. In today's episode, we are talking about this. Enjoy. I know. I've been one of I like the whole concept of good and bad being like what's a bad day for me. Like let's presume that this is Gandalf. One of the wizards. Like what's the difference between Amaya see, I don't even know if there's been one of the wizards and Amaya. Like, is he Amaya or is he like is there any difference? Because Sharon is Amaya. Therefore, could Sharon have been good didn't if Morgoth didn't maybe contact him first? If Sharon met the hobbits first, would that have like tainted him? Like I know Sharon is older, whereas Gandalf got the wizards are there to you, even though they it's a bit confusion a little bit because actually it gets confusion because the Maya were actually weren't created after Middle. They're all about it's just the amount of time they is what we can so in this case Sauron is much older. He wasn't there at the beginning, wherever the wizards were, but they were only in Maya form. No, I don't actually know Maya. I don't but on the for. So yeah, it would be quite interesting to see the fall Sauron. And I've heard rumours we might see something like that in series 3 during the there could be which I think could be interesting. But also like is it okay to bad guy or does it? So in the trainer when it first came, really thought that was Sauron. And I think that would make so much sense even now and even though I know who Sauron is, I still thinking that's woman. But maybe not get into that but like can see why he bought that just from the circles. But I'm not sure what this order order is. Seems they will have we find out a bit later that's born in witches. That witches have powers, which to me is something we never quite touched. We know they have powers already from Maya, and I don't know how powers work within this, and we're not told. Obviously, people can have magic because the one of the witch can hammer. I mean that would make sense because we see Galadriel wield magic powers, which I really hope we get to kind of see that transfer from her of going from someone with a sword to having powers. Maybe something like the order each of her powers. See, I don't know if Amaya and magic because their magic is like in you or you can't. But so it would be nice to know how they happen. Like, is it spells? Is it yeah? So many questions, and they were looking at the picture where the wizard fell to her. So I don't know if their power is only from other artifacts Maya and Farah leave behind. I don't know if it was a bit that. You saw that the main one with a staff. So I don't know if it's Mordecai got that staff ace. And I wonder how Ada got stars. I wonder if they were like do with the sun fire at the maybe yeah maybe your spirit's almost like burnt out to he's still got but like yeah something like that and the more generations that go by more there's done until Nord I do think that's somewhat I don't like this theory of its work. So I still like my previous on of favourite discount for so long. They've forgot what the sun where the others Ada still remembers. And maybe over time, guards are because of the sun. However, still just about remembers the sun is. Going back to the sun, I also wonder if another sun, anyway, but eventually Sauron finds a way from it in the sun, and maybe it's got some other. Sauron does bounds or other and works out that puts the sun, because then we could see others pour more and more into a, and then we could see Sauron make the Uruk-hai that we see in that it's possible, unlikely possible. The one we see, maybe it's possible, but unlikely that the one we see in the North Ruins is that the other half Sauron has done way more experiment, maybe similar around to my other people, maybe. So Morgoth and Sauron are evil. However, not how they are evil. But then at the same time, if you're not right in any regard, you might have to bow. But bowing doesn't mean judging your allegiance. Bowing doesn't. The annoying thing is there is a third choice. They could either fight Ada or bow, join him, or they could just run away because they might be down. But also, they may not be find them. Ada may not. So there is a third choice, which they don't actually talk about. Kind of annoying. They could run away. There are the other side of it, but they could go to. Oh, there is an Gaia at them, but they could just go away, Gaia, and it's for forever. Like the hobbits, I presume Sauron knew where the hobbits were. At that time, I'm not sure if Sauron's plan came to fruition, would have eventually got the hobbits failed bit of, or they may run forever. But also that is all the way in the first. So the hobbits had to arguably the best, all the other rings. So yeah, these are people who could run. The unlikely Sauron could be anyone, we haven't, and that's so many characters would make sense to be Sauron. Like that man, that old man who would have been Sauron. That's when you need a way from the side join yourself. But to join Sauron. So it could have been him. It almost could be this boy being Sauron. It could be. There's a few other people not. It could have been in the first. See, I think the first I original. But anyway, in the first age, Sauron was the first werewolf. He turned himself into a werewolf. And apparently vampires are part of the universe as well. So I don't know if that was Sauron as well or something else. I assume it was Sauron. But anyway, my point was going to be, if there were werewolves, were vampires, what happened when they ordered out? Was that one of Sauron's or more efforts that failed? Or did the vampires and werewolves eventually do orcs, Uruk-hai, that kind of. They're quite similar, as in the orcs are frightened done, and that sounds very similar to vampire. So that would be quite interesting. Or maybe vampires have a practice, have their own thing, but we never see them. Or maybe some made a fair few, but maybe they all got destroyed because they're too powerful. Maybe they were destroyed by our, or even Morgoth himself. Maybe greater, but they all got a bit out of because actually vampires and werewolves are very overpowered, very out. But either way, I think there's a bit of a story. We forgot goats, but they come in much later. And we could argue a Rimray is kind of a, which I got to admit I didn't like in the. I found that a bit off. So you've kind of got all these factors. But yeah, where are the vampires? They are all werewolf. Yeah, I think that's quite because so far in Order of we've seen Bunga with the magic, but we've never seen Amaya be physically strong. Apart from Sauron. He Sauron is a powerful Maya, but still a Maya. So it's quite good to see Gandalf be physically strong as well. Because I don't think a man or and that's good to see because I like in fact it's one of my favourite scenes. We get to see Sauron and Gandalf fight in I can't remember what Hobbit might be different, but we get to see them fight with magic and Sauron easily defeat. I would all Sauron is toying with quite a bit. Bear in mind that Sauron doesn't, which is something I find quite difficult to see in movies a bit. It's the fact that when we see Sauron first in the Lord of that they open the airship of fighting where he's maybe 10-foot-ish, 8 foot, 9 foot tall, something like that. When he's fighting man, wielding, and he's doing it, and maybe 5 or 10 people fly backwards, which is a great scene, but also I'm not sure if Sauron would use Hoot's strength. Bear in mind that's like him at his absolute peak power. Like he's got the ring. He's one powerful dude. In fact, I saw a YouTube research at that point he's on par with Morgoth, like at his weakest, or near Morgoth. That's when Sauron that most versus when Sauron is defeating versus when Gandalf and Sauron fight in Hobbit. Sauron doesn't have the ring, but yet he's toying a bit with Gandalf in the Hobbit. Sort of even for a little bit, but no, it's not at the end. So it almost doesn't quite make Gandalf or a wizard fight Sauron when Sauron's powerful. Because in a way, see something I can't work out is that Sauron's more powerful in this this time period versus when he's made the ring and he's got the ring on. As I said, Aragorn had the most powerful at that point because the ring like amplifies his power hold. So it would be nice if they fixed that a little bit. I feel his power scale is a bit even more so because actually going back to Gandalf and battle, Sauron's definitely way more powerful. However, in the end of that battle, Galadriel turns up and okay, she doesn't defeat Sauron, but she makes Sauron disappear back. So at that point, does she supersede Gandalf? Like, does have her ring on, which later on she gives it to Gandalf. You almost need a third Gandalf and Sauron when Gandalf has a ring, or Galadriel. That would be quite, and or it would be interesting if I don't really want to, but what would happen if at the end of the Return of if Sauron came back in with his higher power, but then Gandalf was able to put on the ring, not the one ring, gifted to Galadriel. I wonder who would win at that point. Like, I don't really want it so named quite all the time, but it would be interesting to see who would win at what. Because surely Gandalf is more powerful than Azrael just by default because he's a Maya, and that's at some point almost given powers somehow. That could be maybe her ring is angel somehow. Yeah, maybe her ring is slightly corrupted to give her even more power than Gandalf. See, something I think something else that needs a backstory is the fact that Maya are so much more powerful, but we can't see that they're like when they're brought to Middle-earth and they kind of get how to use their entire power. And they're almost forbidden to use it all. Whereas at Sauron, I think I said it in my previous, how every time he's made to not be here and goes to Valinor, he's almost somehow retains his knowledge he's known before. And who Sauron is always who he is. Whereas Gandalf the Grey, when he's made to not be here, then he comes back as Gandalf the White. He's made to be much more powerful, much more like his Maya form to combat Sauron. Whereas Sauron is Sauron. So I'm hoping they do the whole why that is in some episodes. That would be so good to know. And also if he's able to have some sort of time element so he's able to know how long he's been away for and that kind of thing. Whereas Gandalf, when he comes back as a Gandalf the White, I don't know if he knows how long he's been away for. Maybe elves don't need to sleep. I've never heard of it before, thought about. I feel like this is where fans were not quite happy. They seem to, well, basically, Mithril is part of the Silmarillion. I don't see why they're connected. And I don't see why the elves would be that into it. But also, I think suppose it's part of their history, then they would. I quite like how it was a Balrog and a elf fighting, and then lightning kind of got both of their essences transformed into Mithril, basically. And I wonder if that Balrog was Doran's bane, or if it happened to another one. It would make sense if it was Doran's bane, because that's maybe how it got trapped down the mine. I presume it got trapped anyway. I'm not sure how it got down. That Balrog kid, I think. If something hides in a fight, that means it's about to be defeated. So maybe it got struck by lightning, got like semi-defeated, so it hid down the mine and stayed there for years. I also wonder if the Balrog could like slightly transform, maybe not appearance, but maybe it made itself like really tiny, and then it went down the mine super quick. So is that meant to be the tree they were fighting over? I don't really get why the elf that completely, but also it's tree. That would make sense. And that's why the wind of power were made to begin with. It was to keep their magic and their essence for longer because of Middle Earth. They're only getting rid of magic, which meant something to do with the elves, because then they're connected to the spirit of the planet and the spirit of the magic. No, something a bit like, and that was slowly going away. And the Celebrimbor made these winds preserve it for much, much longer. That's my understanding. Yeah, so that would make sense because if they find your preserve it, or they can bring it back to, yeah, they can recreate it. So it's interesting how it affects all different aspects. The dwarven that people want it for battle, war, and digging, get more riches to kind of not longer themselves with money. Whereas the elven people don't care about money per se, but they care about the magic. Because if the magic goes, then I think it's something like then I've only brain man don't know about this new or, but I wonder what man would do with it. Probably same as the dwarves had armament. So yeah, super important. It's but now his father has sent a command to get every hand, which seems a little bit overkill. I'm sure we don't need it quite every hand on Numenor to help over one ship being destroyed. But who am I to complain? Thank you for watching. If you like what we've seen, don't forget to subscribe.